What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing my level 50 Shadow Gastly in action in the Halloween Cup. Now, to fully understand just how insane this Pokemon is, when the Shadow bonus is applied, it has the highest attack in the entire meta, beating out the likes of Pheromosa, Shadow Sharpedo, and even its evolutions Shadow Haunter and Shadow Gengar. Speaking of which, I sent some battles over to Zionic featuring the entire Shadow Gastly line in the Halloween Cup, which made for some insanely entertaining battles, so definitely go and check that video out if you haven't done so already. Now, the even crazier thing about Shadow Gastly is that it only reaches the mid 1300 CP range, or at least my one does, so its stat product is absolutely abysmal and is less than half the stat product of some of the bulkier Pokemon in this meta, like Carbink, Toxapex, and Umbreon. What I'm trying to say is that this Pokemon is really bad, but if the opponents do not respect the damage coming from the Shadow Gastly, they're gonna have a very rough time. So with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What's the worst investment you've ever made for the Go Battle League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, leads Wireless into Tentacruel. Now, I do have two Pokemon in the back that double resist the Poison Jab damage, so I safe swap into my Shadow Gastly. The opponent stays in, they don't even farm up to the school. Now, I know Gastly is very glassy, but we can at least tank a double resisted Acid Spray. As they swap into Greninja, we go straight for the Sludge Bomb, and they don't respect the damage. We fully one-shot the Greninja, and now they come in with a Galarian Slowbro. This game is well and truly over for the opponent. They just don't know it yet. We're going to let the move go through. This is just going to be a Surf. It is resisted damage. The fact they're going for Surf there means they're probably running, like, I don't even know what they're running as a secondary charge move, but I can very easily let the next move go through. I'm actually going to swap into my Golurk, get an energy head start. Doesn't really matter. We can very easily Mudslap, farm down the Tentacruel, and I'm able to take that game. So you can see the opponent did not respect the damage from that Shadow Gastly, and we were able to flip a terrible matchup and very comfortably win. But into the next game, we see a Shadow Golbat in the lead. Gonna let the first move go through here. It will be a Poison Fang, gonna debuff my defense. The second one will be doing more damage here, so we go for a Body Slam, throwing just before they make it to the next Poison Fang, and the opponent is going to use a shield. I then swap, trying to catch the next Poison Fang. The opponent looking like they were just gonna commit to the full Wing Attack Farm Down, so we do shield up the Shadow Ball. We go for the full Lick Farm Down, and the opponent is going to come in with a Azumarill here, and if they don't respect the damage, this Sludge Bomb is going to do massive damage to the Azumarill. Unfortunately, because of the defense drop, we do get Bubble Farm Down, but it does not matter. I can come in with either Pokemon here. I'm actually going to come in with this Wireless. They weren't running Ice Beam, as they don't throw straight away, and they've got Charger Bug in the back. So once again, this is going to be a very good matchup for the Golurk in the end game, and the opponent just concedes the match there. So GG's to the opponent there into the next game, and we see a Shadow Mawile in the lead. Now, this is an awful matchup for us. I'm going to swap into my Shadow Gastly, and this was actually the first battle I did with this team. I was like, oh, bloody hell. Leading Wireless into a Mawile in the lead is not a great start. We're going to go for the Ominous Wind. Unfortunately, this Dusclops did swap out fairly quickly and outpaced me to the first charge move. And I fully expect they're going to be running Ice Punch as the secondary charge move, so it's not looking too good for us. I'm fully going to sacrifice this Wireless. If they do get to two moves, I'll just let them both go through. They go for the first one. It is the Ice Punch. It does about 40% of our health, but we do get that Dragon Breath farm down. Going to swap immediately into my Shadow Golurk, and the opponent's got a Whimsicott in the back. Are you kidding me? What on earth was that team? But GG's to that opponent there, and I found that I saw quite a lot of really odd Fairy type Pokemon today. A lot of the what's the Pokemon called? Dedenne, I think. Though Technical did feature it on his channel recently, so that might explain it. A lot of them paired with the Greninja as a very good core, but unfortunately I was really slow there. Took two charms on my Wireless, and now I don't outpace them with the fast move damage before they can make it to a charge move there, which is really unfortunate. I do end up losing switch. I come in with the Shadow Golurk, maybe could have come in with this Wireless and farmed down before they reach a charge move, but they come in with a Shadow Scizor. Now I'm going to shield this up. We do get the Mudslap through, which is really nice for us. They go for the Night Slash. I'm committing to the full Mudslap farm down, and we get that farm down. We can now go for a Shadow Punch. We have back-to-back, but what I'm going to do here is swap into my Wireless, force the opponent to throw their energy, and they do throw straight away, and I'm hoping they're in range where one Mudslap will take them out. They get the boost with the Cross Poison, but I'm able to take them out there, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there into the next game. Not a great lead for us as we see a Toxicroak in the lead, and the opponent's going to respond with an Umbreon. I'm going to try and go for the charge move here. I should have tried to go for a CMP in all honesty, because now they can let the Sludge Bomb go through. It does big damage, but they can fully snarl farm me down, which is not ideal, but I can just come in with this wireless and hopefully they're not running Last Resort. I mean, it's not that likely here, but I don't know. They might be running Psychic here, and they do go for the foul play, so they probably are running Psychic, which is great because now I can tank both charge moves very comfortably, not have to use a shield here, and I can just go for a Body Slam into the Toxicroak coming back in. But no, they've got a Powder Snow. Alolan Ninetales are another core breaker for the team. Gonna swap into a Shadow Golurk, hopefully output enough damage with the Mud Slaps. They swap back into Toxicroak. Unfortunately, I do have to use a shield here. I go for the Mud Slap farm down, and I will be able to make it to 2 Shadow Punches before they make it to 2 Weather Balls here, but I don't know if that is the right play here. Going for the charge moves, we go for the back-to-back here. I know they are at the charge move now, so probably is the right play just to grab 2 shields here and just guarantee, well, 2 damage here from both shields, and hopefully we can Dragon Breath farm them down in time. They are fairly low, but Dragon Breath is going to be double resisted. Can we get that farm down in time? No, we're not able to do so, and we did just make it to the Body Slam, but it was just too late. Weather Ball takes out this wireless, and I do unfortunately lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into next game, we see Swallow in the lead now. This is another kind of tricky Pokemon here, as they are going to be running Ice Beam. Ice Beam going to do a lot of damage. I will let this go through, though. Wireless is the bulkiest Pokemon on this team, although you wouldn't believe it seeing the damage from a non-stab Ice Beam from a fairly bulky Pokemon. But we swap into Shadow Golurk. We get the Mud Slap farm down before they're able to react, and they've got a Golbat in the back. So we're going to go for a Shadow Punch here. The opponent does have to go for Shadow Ball to take us out. A Poison Fang is double resisted. So I will respect the damage here, and they do full send the Shadow Ball, which is really nice for me because now I can go for another Shadow Punch here, and they will have to go for 2 more wing attacks to make it to another Shadow Ball to take us out. They're going to throw straight away. At this point, I'm pretty happy with Golurk. It has done a lot of damage to a flying type after all. We come in with the Gastly, we get the Lick farm down, and they've got a Jellicent in the back. They're running Bubble, so we're not taking super effective damage from these fast moves, but they're still dealing a lot of damage. But we get the ominous Wind Boost, and look at that Lick damage up against the Jellicent. We're going to use a shield, and unfortunately they go for a Bubble Beam, which is really annoying because they then get the Bubble farm down, but it doesn't matter. We come in with this wireless. Even if they got off the Bubble Beam there, it would not take me out, and I'm able to Dragon Breath, farm them down, and take that game. Into next game, we see another Golbat in the lead, and they are just going to go for that Poison Fang straight away. So I'm going to let the first one go through once again. If they make it to a second one, I will be shielding that. But they swap into their Umbreon, which is quite good for me because I do not want to see Umbreon with my backline whatsoever. So we're going to overfarm here, throwing just before they make it to a potential Last Resort. And Body Slam does put them fairly low already. I will shield this up just in case it is the Last Resort, and it is. This Umbreon is running it this time around. And now I can go for a Body Slam, throwing on the CMP tie as they make it to the next charge move, and the opponent's happy to let the Umbreon go down. Now we can probably make it to a charge move. The opponent recognizes that, so they do throw some energy. Poison Fang takes out this wireless. I'm going to come in with the Gastly, go for the farm down, and we get the farm down in time, and they've got a Skeledirge in the back, so I'm going to go for an Ominous Wind. There's no point in throwing a charge move in all honesty, as I will be able to swap into my Shadow Golurk and just fully Mud Slap farm them down from this range, and there's not a lot they can do about it. They do full send the Shadow Ball, just in case for whatever reason I chose to no shield, playing to their only win condition, but I'm able to Mud Slap farm them down and take that game. Into the next game, a very awkward lead here. I'm going to swap into my Gastly, and they can just rock throw farm me all the way down. And this is just looking awful for me. I'm going to wait out the switch clock, come in with my Shadow Golurk. They've got a Shadow Gardevoir, and I just don't have time for that nonsense. I'm just going to concede the match there. GG's to that opponent. What on earth was that team? But into the next game, we're going to see a Charger Bug in the lead. A bit of a tricky one here. They can hit for super effective damage with the X-Scissors. Going to shield the first one. I was going to try and catch the next one, but they actually swap into a Clefable. So I'm going to go for a Body Slam, and this should put them into range, but I can shield once with my Gastly and then just lick farm them all the way down. And we are resisting these Fairy Winds, so we're actually not taking much damage from their fast move, which is really nice and a nice change for the Shadow Gastly because it has very minimal health here and very minimal HP and very minimal defense, but the opponent is going to go for a charge move here, and you're going to see a double resisted X-Scissor still takes out the Gastly from that range, and they've got a Toxicroak in the back. This is looking to be pretty good for us here. They do make it to a charge move though. Mud Bomb, it's not going to be able to take us out, but it does get us incredibly low, a lot lower than I would have liked. So we swap into Ice Wireless, we catch the charge move here, and this X-Scissor barely doesn't take us out there. We get a few more Dragon Breaths in, and one more that takes out the Charger Bug, and I'm able to take that game. Although it wasn't a very pretty win there, I did still manage to get that win. But into the next game, we see another Shadow Marwile in the lead, so not great. I stay in just to see if it was like Fire Fang, but no, it's Ice Fang. That is the worst case scenario for this team, dealing big super effective damage. I actually just choose to stay in with my Wireless here. No point in swapping out because we're still going to take big damage on our Shadow Golurk. I'm going to shield this. There's no point in baiting. Well, there shouldn't have been any point in baiting there, but the opponent baits anyway, so feels really bad to shield up a Power Up Punch. And then they've got a Charmed Shadow Alola Ninetales. What is with the fairy types we're seeing with this team? It's so strange. But now we're just going to come in with our Shadow Gastly. Going to commit a shield here. I will go for the Lick Farm down, and I don't even know what I could possibly win with in the back here. We have basically no health remaining. I just need them to let this Ominous Wind go through, but they're not going to do that. They shield up the Ominous Wind, and they do Fire Spin, farm me down to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Mandibuzz in the lead, so this is definitely where we want to see it with this team. They are running Air Slash, so I think this probably is a slightly losing matchup here, but it doesn't really matter. As long as we get the Mandibuzz into farm down range for either of my Pokemon in the back, I'll feel pretty good, because if they got Mandibuzz in the back, in the lead, they probably don't have any Dark types in the back. I could be wrong though, because some of the teams we've seen so far are very questionable, don't make an awful lot of sense, but then again, a lot of the teams I run also don't make too much sense, so I should probably stop crying about it now. The opponent does take me out with the Mandibuzz. We play out the zero shield scenario. We've put them into range though, where we can just lick farm them down with the Shadow Gastly, and the opponent is going to come in with a Tentacruel. So this is really good for us. And I'm actually thinking already, since they come in with a Tentacruel, they're probably running Toxapex in the back. So we go for the Ominous Wind. No boost, unfortunately. We're going to let this move go through. Once again, probably just going to be an Acid Spray. So I can actually swap there into my Shadow Golurk, and the opponent is staying in here, which does lead me to believe that they are running something very weak to the Golurk in the back. They full send the School this time around, and there it is. It's the Toxapex, so we can just go straight for the Shadow Punch here. Shadow Punch should be grabbing the shield or dealing some decent damage here. We grab the shield, and the opponent recognizing there's nothing they can do, so I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Dedenne in the lead, so we're going to swap straight away into Shadow Gastly. They will obviously outpace us to a charge move, so I'm going to use my shield here as they go for a discharge. That would definitely one-shot us. They come in with the Greninja. We're going for Sludge Bomb once again. Does the opponent respect the damage here? Yes, unfortunately they do respect the damage, and they can fully Water Shuriken farm us down. Doesn't matter too much though, we've got Swirless to completely wall the energy, although two Hydro Cannons are going to do quite a lot of damage in this matchup here. So gonna let the next one go through. Hydro Cannon gets us very low, and they will actually make it to another charge move before we even reach a Body Slam. So I'm fully sacrificing Swirless. I'm hoping Shadow Golurk can sweep in the end game. So let's see what the final Pokemon is. It is a Jellicent. So there is an opportunity for us to win this game. I just got to make sure the opponent doesn't make a catch onto their Dedenne, and we're going to continue to overfarm. They try to make their catch there, and because of that, I'm able to fully Mudslap, farm them down, come out with two Shadow Punches loaded. I'm not 100% sure if it takes them out from this range, so I go for one extra Mudslap, throw on the CMP tie, and Shadow Punch takes out the Jellicent, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Wireless into Ariados. So this is a matchup where I'm going to probably swap into my Shadow Gastly, and the opponent stays in. We can't tank anything. Everything is double resisted. So I will let this move go through. Lunge still does quite a lot of damage. They come in with the Greninja, and we are debuffed. But can we land another Sludge Bomb? No, the opponent does use their shield. They don't get as big a farm down this time around though, so we should be able to come in with this Wireless, maybe commit one shield and fully farm them down. I'm not quite sure. They go for the Night Slash first there. Probably should shield the next one, but I don't know. Let's see. They go for the Hydro Cannon, and now they will make it to yet another charge move. This time I will shield. I do want to maintain the energy on my Wireless here, as we don't get completely walled by the Ariados. So let's see what they've got in the back. They have got a Azumarill, and unfortunately, this is really not good for us. We're going for the Body Slam. We will make it to another Body Slam after just two bubbles, and then I'm going to swap into my Shadow Golurk, and we swap immediately. The opponent actually swaps out straight away though. This could potentially be good for us. They're going to go for a charge move. Lunge will be resisted, but it does debuff my attack, and actually because of that debuff they make it to another charge move. Now we can live across poison, but it's double resisted. I don't really want to shield that, but unfortunately this puts me into perfect farm down range for the Azumarill, and because we're debuffed, these shadow punches aren't really dealing that much damage. Honestly, it's the mud slaps that should be adding up, but because we're so low we only get off a couple of mud slaps. But can we somehow get the Dragon Breath farm down? If the opponent goes for a play rough here, then it's going to cost one more bubble to make it to the charge move, but unfortunately they still make it in time, and this play rough is obviously going to take out this wireless, and we do unfortunately lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into next game we see Obstagoon, which is a massive core breaker for the team, but what I'm going to do is swap just before they make it to the first charge move, and as a result I'm able to get the mud slap through. Luckily for me, the opponent doesn't bait with a Night Slash. I mean, it is fairly common for an Obstagoon to bait with a Night Slash there. That would have been very awkward if they did that, but they now come in with a Crustal. We've got back-to-back charge moves already loaded. They are one fast move away from their charge move, so I'm going to go for one extra mud slap, throw on the CMP tie, which we do win as well. And Shadow Punch gets them very low. Now I'm just going to let the Golurk go down. X-Scissor does take us out, even though it is resisted there. We go for the Dragon Breath farm down, we get the farm down, and we're going for another Dragon Breath farm down into the Obstagoon, and we get the farm down once again. And now they've got Ariados in the back, we can go straight for a Body Slam, dealing some okay damage, and we will easily be able to lick farm them all the way down from this range. I'm going to let the first move go through once again. It is double resisted there, and the opponent is going to make it to a last second charge move. Doesn't really matter, I can let this go through. Cross Poison actually takes out the Shadow Gastly, but we Dragon Breath farm down the Ariados, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game we see a Drapion in the lead now. This is a fairly good matchup for us, as long as they're not running Sludge Bomb and the opponent doesn't even build up to the Sludge Bomb. So easy no shield decision there for me. I'm now going to go for a Body Slam throwing just before they make it to the next charge move. I know they are running Aqua Tail, or at least I'm fairly confident they are running Aqua Tail, since they didn't farm to the Sludge Bomb, and there is the Aqua Tail. Not sure why they went for it there, but we're now going to go for a Body Slam, and this should just about be enough to take them out. Actually, it doesn't take them out, but the Dragon Breath after does take them out. They come in with the Gold Bat, and we do make it to a Body Slam in time. So, going to go for the Body Slam straight away, and then swap into my Shadow Gastly. They will make it to a charge move. Going to shield respect the damage from the Shadow Ball. It is just a Poison Fang bait, unfortunately, but we get the lick farm down anyways, and they've got Toxapex in the back. Now this usually is really good for us, but because of the defense drop, they're actually going to be able to Poison Jab farm me all the way down. We do at least grab the final shield, but it's a bit tricky here. A Brine is going to do a ton of super effective damage up against the Golurk, so even though we are double resisting the Poison Jab damage, this is still going to be tricky. We need to make a catch here. And so we're going to swap here just before they make it to the next Brine. I'm able to make the catch there. Brine takes out this wireless, and I can very easily monster farm them down and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game we see wireless into Nidoqueen. So I will eventually swap out of this matchup, but I don't want to swap straight away here just because I don't want them to Poison Fang my Gastly. So we go for the Body Slam there, dealing some nice damage. We put them into farm down range for the Gastly anyway, so gonna let the Poison Fang go through, swap into my Shadow Gastly, and the opponent eventually swaps out just before the Nidoqueen goes down, and this time we do throw on the CMP tie. Sludge Bomb, if it does land, is going to do big damage, so the opponent actually uses a shield there. It might seem strange, but that's the most damage we can deal with this team unless we make it all the way to a Dynamic Punch on the Shadow Golurk, which isn't our best option. So we're going to come in with this wireless. This should just be a foul play though, so I can very comfortably live this, and I will be able to make it to a Body Slam, but this isn't really going to get the Umbreon that low, so let's see what we do here. We go for the Body Slam, and the opponent does make it to another charge move. I could shield this, go for a Body Slam, but instead I'm going to put it all on 2 shields for my Shadow Golurk here. The opponent swaps out of the Umbreon, probably banking a charge move for later, which is quite a smart play. They swap into Drapion, and they are running Aqua Tail, so they are much spammier in this matchup, but that's fine. We go for the Shadow Punch. All we need to do is grab that final shield, and now I can safely shield this up, fully Mud Slap farm them down, and come out with a Dynamic Punch loaded. All I have to do is make sure I don't throw into the Nidoqueen, and it is the Umbreon coming back in. We actually go for the Shadow Punch there. It's still enough to take them out. Mud Slap takes out the Nidoqueen, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game we see Toxapex in the lead, so I am going to say swap into my Shadow Gastly, and the opponent is going to swap into Nidoqueen, so they don't have a great response to the Gastly here, so I'm going to go for the Ominous Wind straight away. I'm actually not going to shield in this matchup here. Unfortunately, they will be able to farm me down after the Poison Fang, but I'm thinking if this is their best response to a Ghost type, then maybe Shadow Golurk can just fully sweep their team. So we're going to wait out the Switch Clock here and then come in with my Shadow Golurk, go for the Mud Slap farm down. They actually don't even farm to an Earth Power, so very easy no shield decision. We get the Mud Slap farm down, and the opponent is going to have a Mandibuzz in the back. So okay, that was a weird play by the opponent there, not coming in with the Mandibuzz up against the Gastly. Kind of gave me a full sense of security there, thinking that Golurk could just sweep this team, and now we didn't fight for switch advantage, and I'm probably just going to lose this game here. So I'm going to shield this up. I did correctly call a Brine on the first charge move. Brine would get us incredibly low though if I did let that next one go through, so we can go for a Body Slam here, and then I'm going to swap into my Shadow Golurk. My only win condition is if I land a Dynamic Punch here, so we're going to go for it straight away. Maybe should have baited here with the Shadow Punch. Let's see. The opponent does shield up the Shadow Golurk there, and unfortunately there's not a lot we can do. I can shield this up, go for a Shadow Punch, hoping the opponent throws on the CMP tie. But no, the opponent is going to correctly overfarm in this matchup. We don't have a Body Slam banked, so they can just fully Air Slash farm me down, come out with a charge move loaded to throw into the Zweilous, and this will be enough damage to take out the Zweilous, and I do unfortunately lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into next game, we see Shadow Beedrill in the lead. So once again, Poison Jab user, going to save swap into my Shadow Gastly, and we can just fully shield once and lick farm all the way down from full health here up against a Shadow Beedrill, and the opponent is choosing to stay in, so they clearly don't have a great response here. Eventually they come in with a Golbat after they get fully farmed down. Ominous Wind grabs a shield from the opponent. Ominous Wind isn't a great move there, so it actually wouldn't do that much damage despite the massive attack stat on the Shadow Gastly, but now we can just come in with our Wireless, let the charge move go through, as they go for a Poison Fang here, and then they swap into a Fairy Wind Marwile. We can come in with the Shadow Golurk. I can safely shield this up. This will do more damage than, well, obviously a Poison Fang from the Golbat, so the opponent is going to have to full send a Shadow Ball here, but that's absolutely fine. We've got an energy advantage now. We go for the Shadow Punch, grabbing the final shield, going for Shadow Punch number 2 straight away, and this will put them into farm down range for my Wireless. The opponent is still over farming here. It makes sense as they are resisting the Mud Slap damage, but it's still not going to be enough. We can live a Poison Fang anyways, but they don't even reach it. I'm able to farm them down and take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.